Yo, what's up, guys? It's the Insane Game Freak here, Schizomatic, whatever you want to call me. And we are going to attempt to do another movie review. Because if you're watching this before the end of 2018, then my first one is not up right now because it was blocked by ShowPro. Not because of the audio, because it was just us talking, but because of the goddamn pictures. Yes, ShowPro is petty enough. ShowPro is petty enough that they don't give a fuck, even if it's just the pictures. They're like, nah, fuck that. It's getting taken down. The video didn't even have. Let's see how many views the video had. Video had less than had less than 200 views. It wasn't even up for like maybe 2 days or some shit. It's great. 10 out of 10. GG. Fuck me. Anyway. So, if you are watching this before the end of 2018, because I think it's like November 24th is the actual like release date for it, then you're gonna see movie 2 and be like, "Where's the movie 1 review?" Well, we already did it. It was an hour long, and it unfortunately didn't. It's not up right now. So, but that's not gonna stop us from doing the other movies. And the second film, Pokémon the movie 2000, which I believe is the subtitle is "The Power of One," right? In the Is this original subtitle? 2000 was what the American version was named, because the Japanese version came out in like 1999, so technically it doesn't make sense in that context.
Came out it's the second movie, and it came out in the year 2000, where the infamous Y2K was supposed to happen.
Because we're all going to die. We were all supposed to die 18 years ago.
We exist in an alternate timeline where it didn't happen.
Right.
This is when the Mega Evolution timeline starts, everybody.
Right.
Mega Evolution.
It's kind of ironic we're reviewing this one next, considering Lugia's in the newest Pokemon film, and we're reviewing his first movie debut. So, to start off, I guess I should do this. Tyrone's here. Richie's here.
Hello, everybody. Tyrone the God 3 here.
We are back again.
Okay. Tell a friend, everybody. Tell a friend. So, since Tyrone was so good at it last time and was able to do it in like took an hour or so movie and turned it into like a 3-minute summary, give us a summary again, Tyrone, if you would please. Thank you.
Please.
All right. Pokemon movie 2000, or Pokemon the Power of One. This movie starts off actually with our villain. The movie starts off with a villain who's never named in the confines of the movie, but if you look into the back of the videotape or anywhere else where the information log is, he's named Lawrence the Third, which means there was 2 more Lawrences. Anyway, Lawrence the Third is basically a klepto. He collects things, because he started his collection with a Mew card and everything sort of just came in after that. He sets his sights high for Lugia, also known as the Beast of the Sea, but in order to obtain Lugia, he must awaken Lugia. In order to do that, he needs to capture all 3 of the legendary bird Pokemon. This includes Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno. In order to do this, he needs to go to each island and harass them until they emerge and then capture them all. He starts off by capturing Moltres, not using Pokemon, but using various tools, which apparently that's wrong. So Moltres ends up getting caught. Then once Moltres ends up getting caught, Lugia awakens and it starts the precipice for the movie to start. Afterwards, we see that this takes place shortly after Ash has defeated the Orange Island, so he's headed back to Pallet, but he needs to go to Shamoody Island first. On his way back with Misty and Tracy, they end up traveling. And they end up traveling back and having a whole montage. However, Pikachu's not really feeling that montage because something's been going off on his senses ever since Moltres got kidnapped. Once they reach Shamoody Island, they learn that Ash Ketchum's a Pokemon trainer, and thus he's deemed the Chosen One. Why? So anyway, afterwards, because he's the Chosen One, he receives a kiss by Melanie, and that sets off shippings for now till the rest of Pokemon history. Also, it makes Misty jealous. Well, Ash is told that he's the Chosen One, and it's the Chosen One's job to collect all of the treasures on each of the islands, Fire Island, Ice Island, and Electric Island, respectively. Once he collects all 3 of the treasures and Melanie plays the harmonious song, then Lugia will be awakened and stop the conflict that's happening on the Earth. Obviously, all of this is just ceremony talk, and it's not real. Well, at least not now. Until Pikachu's senses go off. In the festival, Misty gets jealous and throws a hissy fit. Pikachu runs off in order to see the source of the damages, and we see that Lawrence III has attacked Zapdos on Lightning Island. While our heroes barely struggle to get to Lightning Island, Ash and the others finally do make it, and Ash receives the first crystal. In fact, they're on Fire Island, not Lightning Island, because Zapdos decided to take over Moltres' island when Moltres got caught. So when Pikachu tries to talk to Zapdos using electricity, Zapdos ends up getting caught in the crossfire after Lawrence III attacks him, but he ends up capturing Jesse, James, Meowth, Ash, Tracy, Misty, and Melanie as well. Once they all get caught, Lawrence explains that he's a Pokemon klepto, and Misty tells him that he's wrong, and the only thing that Lawrence III hasn't collected is shits to give. So he walks off, and then once he walks off, he just leaves them there. He doesn't capture them or anything. He just sort of leaves them there with Zapdos and Moltres. So doing the obvious thing, Ash and the others end up setting Moltres and Zapdos free. They end up fighting each other. It blows up Lawrence III's ship, but in the midst of it blowing up, it blows up right over Lightning Island, and Ash is able to obtain the second crystal that was on Lightning Island. Because Ash has 2 of the 3 crystals and both of the birds end up attacking each other, they decide to go jump Articuno because it's the weakest. Like, seriously, this thing sucks. So they end up jumping poor Articuno, and they all have this giant brawl. But because of this, and they almost get killed, Lugia emerges to sort of get them to calm the hell down. Well, because Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres don't like Lugia's guts, they all end up beating his ass, and he ends up falling in the mist of the water. Melanie ends up playing her song, which basically acts as a one-up for Lugia so they can come back. But this song by itself isn't enough to stop the fighting. While the fighting's happening, the world is tearing apart. We get tons of cameos from Ash's mother, Professor Oak, Brock for a second, Professor Ivy, and others. We learn that the world is slowly tearing apart, and it's only the power of one person, that person being Ash, if you're watching the English dub, is able to quell the fighting. But in order to do so, he must get the last treasure, which is located on Ice Island, conveniently where all the birds are fighting each other. So Ash gets scared at first, but he decides to go do it. He ends up having himself and his Pokemon rush. Team Rocket helps him get to Ice Island. He grabs the treasure. He heads back. And before he can make it back, however, Lugia ends up getting attacked by all the birds and Lawrence III. And it seems that they're basically going to die. Team Rocket sacrifices himself for the cause. Ash ends up almost drowning. Misty ends up saving Ash's life, which makes Poké shipping almost canon, but not quite. And then Ash gets the last treasure to where it needs to be. Melanie plays the song. Everything's back to normal. The fighting has been quelled. They all head back to see Ash's mother and Professor Oak, but they don't take a ride with them to Pallet Town. Weird. And basically after that, everything is sort of settled, and Team Rocket's just sort of left in a flowery field, wondering should they be good or bad. The end.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you as always, Tyrone, for the summary. So I guess the way we'll start this is the way we started, I believe, last time, which is English or Japanese. Which did you watch it?
English.
Tyrone?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time for me?
Did you watch it in English dub or in Japanese?
Oh, of course I watched it in English.
I was actually trying to find the Japanese one, but I wasn't able to find
I
it.
wasn't going to pass up Ash going right now. I feel like the Frozen one.
Yeah, there were a lot of. I forget there was a lot of puns in early. Early Pokemon. To be fair, Pokemon will always have puns, but my God.
You know what? As an extra cherry on top that I didn't notice as a kid, after he says, "Right now I feel like the Frozen one," he falls in the snow, and then he goes, "Maybe they got the wrong Ash."
Yeah, you forgot about that. That was the interesting part. I watched the English dub too, particularly because of one thing, and I realized the greatness of it now in retrospect. Fucking OST is amazing, yo.
Yes. Oh God. The song that
OST,
plays when Ash is gonna go to Ice Island is amazing.
bro, the OST is consistently good throughout the whole fucking film.
Zapdos' theme is amazing.
Also, side note, the fucking movie looks so much better. I am surprised. It's like this insane, considering this only came out a year later in Japan and in America, technically.
Right.
God damn it! It went from looking like a fucking overblown special to a full-on fucking movie. Like the sequence in which they're running out of Lawrence III's castle, like flying ship onto Thunder Island and shit. They do the little perspective shot where they end up tripping and they end up rolling, and then you see them running it, and the music is what I'm like. How do you make a running sequence so fucking good?
It is really good. Visually, this movie is amazing, regardless of the CGI mobile that is Lawrence III's battleship.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Really,
But-
I didn't notice it as much as I thought it was.
I mean, in the inside, like, it's weird. It's obvious 3D, but on the inside, it looks beautiful. The marble, the obviously he's a collector, so everything in the ship looks beautiful.
Now, I want to mention this and get it out of the way because it was something I noticed, but I literally can't. None of us can comment on. Has any of us ever seen the Japanese version?
No.
Okay,
It's been a
that's
while.
the hard problem. Apparently, what I was watching was someone literally took the Japanese version of the film and then just put the dub over it. The reason why I was able to tell because there's two sequences that aren't in the American version of the film. The first sequence is Oak explaining what's going on with the currents and shit inside the helicopter. That sequence lasts longer than him talking. So they must have cut it out. Maybe he just couldn't explain it long enough for it to flow correctly. So I'm not totally sure what that is. The other sequence is when Ash is having his Pokemon attack the cage that Moltres and Zapdos are in. There's like this sequence where Tracy is freaking out and saying something, but it was never dubbed, so I have no idea what he's saying. It's like a random Tracy sequence.
It doesn't matter. It's Tracy.
Well, that was the weird
Yeah.
thing about this film was just Jesus Christ. Also, a Brock cameo every time you saw Professor Ivy. It's fucking ridiculous. You know where I want to start though? I want to start with Lawrence III, which I didn't even know his fucking name until you said it, Tyrone.
Really?
Because
Yeah,
they never
because
say it in
it's
the
not
film. They never
It's
say it
not
in
in
the
the
film.
film. It's not in the film. The only way you can find it is on the back of the videotapes or on the DVD bios.
And the funny thing, this is his English name. We don't even know what his Japanese name is.
He just called the collector in the Japanese version.
Yeah.
Also, he
the collector.
literally doesn't have a name even in the Japanese version.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and I forgot to mention he had a small little scene where he picked up his Mew card after his ship got destroyed, but who cares?
Yeah, he's one of those villains that literally said, all right, we have one thing we need you to do. We need you to cause problems. That's
Hi,
all
can
we
you be a
need you to
villain
do.
for a second?
Huh?
Hi, can you be a villain for a second?
Yeah, that's literally all it is. He literally fucking is, the only purpose he serves is to cause shit to happen. There is no development with his character, even though, honestly, the only development I got out of it, when he picked up the Mew card, I just assumed, oh, so he's going to try to do all this shit again. It seemed like he learned absolutely nothing from his entire experience. That's probably one of the weaker parts of the film, is that this villain serves no other purpose than to be a villain.
I interpreted it a little bit differently, like he saw the results of what he tried to do, and he'll try to collect but not try to destroy the world in its crossfire. See, that goes into the problem that you said, though. His arc is so open-ended and short, you don't get anything to pull out of it. His job was to simply cause conflict.
Nope.
Doing something that most Pokemon trainers do any goddamn way.
Yeah, like that was the other problem, is that it wasn't that much different than what you were. The only thing that was different is that he just fucked with the balance of nature. But the other thing is that why would you be dumb enough to leave to free Misty and Ash and them, but not like, because they were in a cage when he came down from his little rotating platform that if it spun fast enough would have thrown him off of it. But he doesn't. But he's just like, yeah, I just collect Pokemon because I feel like it. I'm a collector. I collect everything. And I'm going to collect Lugia. And I'll let you out of your cage. Bye now, kids. It's not like I trust you.
Feel free to run around in my priceless collection.
Yeah, it was such a weird fucking sequence. It's like one of the dumbest things he does in the whole film, because I'm sitting there going, why would you do that? Why would you just leave it open, leave yourself wide open to getting your shit ruined? Especially when Misty made it very obvious that she wasn't happy with you. So if nothing else, you should have taken that from the hand and be like, well, maybe this isn't the smartest. Like it's such a weird villain. It's just
And if the writers were worried about, that if they had caught him, that means they would have had no way to get out. Just leave one Pokemon behind, like Togepi or something, to metronome their way out.
yeah.
At least then we can see that Lawrence tried.
Also, side note, is it common knowledge that this takes place at the end of the Orange Island?
I remember the movie showed up shortly after Ash's battle with Drake, so
It's not.
I assume.
We-
But you say they're heading to Pallet, so
Well, yeah, that's the only way they would actually be traveling. Is like there's no reason for Ash to be in the Orange Islands anymore.
Well, it's
except to
also
go back
weird
to
that he's on
return-
a boat when
He's
he.
returning the GS ball back to Professor Oak.
Well, it's also weird because why would you be riding on a boat when you obviously have your lappers, which is what they ride on most of the time?
I don't.
Pokemon logic.
I guess because I never even mentioned that Melody has a cousin or whatever. The lady that actually got them on the boat in the first
actually,
place.
that's what I was gonna bring
And
up
she
next.
just sort of shows up in the beginning of the movie, but
There is no introduction of her. It's just like I'm driving the boat you're riding on. Then they get to the island. Oh hey, there's my sister. Oh hey, here's my little sister. Oh hi Melody. And you're like, all right.
Nice.
You didn't even introduce one of these movie characters, and the other sister is only sitting there clasping her hand, sitting with her grandfather, watching the television the whole fucking film. The other one, ironically, the one we saw at the beginning, is the one that ends up doing the most stuff, although she becomes... Actually, do we see her again?
she stops doing stuff after
They get to the first island.
Once they get to light the fire island, she becomes insignificant.
Actually, we don't even think we see her.
She got Tracy, Misty, and Melody to Fire Island. That was her job. And then after that, she just sort of left for dead.
No, she didn't. She didn't get on the fire island. Melody took the boat out. Remember?
No, well, she got them close enough, but I think the storm messed with them, and then Melody took the boat and rode them the rest of the way.
No, Melody's the one who drove Ash.
Well, no. Because, oh yeah, you're right. You know what? No, it was the big sister that I think that drove Ash. I think Melody was the one that got them the rest of the way.
No, Melody drove. No, because Ash, Pikachu, and the girl from the beginning we saw.
Yeah.
They
That's what I'm
rode
saying.
to Fire Island, but Melody took out her own boat and took
to get Misty and Tracy to Fire
Yeah, that's
Island
what
so
happened.
catch up.
Okay, all right, we're on the same page. Also, side note, that boat is fucking ridiculous. How the hell did you get a boat to fly?
That was the most OP boat.
It was the bitch flew and climbed up some fucking rock stairs and slid down the other end and was fine. And the only thing that broke it is when they fell out of the ship and it fell down a fucking waterfall and smacked, I think, the ice at the bottom of it.
Didn't that boat have a smaller boat inside it, the life preserver boat?
No. That was you're talking about the other boat. This boat had the fucking sails that Melody essentially used it as like a wing rider or some shit.
Yeah, she basically used it as a plane.
It was fucking ridiculous. It's sorry for jumping around, folks. It's just a lot of random shit in this film that we just need to touch on before we even touch on the main characters. Because, to be fair, she's one of the more useful side characters. I'm not totally sure what the fucking point of the Misty plot was, because at some point in the film they come to an understanding. Well, yeah, but it doesn't really make sense because it's not like Melody. I don't know how interested Melody was in Ash. I think at a certain point she just wanted to rile up Misty. It felt like.
I think if you were to ask me, the whole point of that was, I guess they just wanted to establish a relationship within the movie and have an internal conflict, so that in the end, when Misty saves Ash from drowning, it makes a little bit more sense. And two, it's because I guess Melody, as well as most of the villagers, treated Ash with all this praise because he's supposed to be the chosen one, which hyped Ash up and got Misty all in her hissy fit mode.
Also, side note, and I kind of wish one of us had to watch the Japanese version. I wonder how that poem or legend goes in Japanese, because in the English dub they do the pun where it's like the world will turn to ash. And it's like, oh, that's Ash Ketchum, but his name is Satoshi in the Japanese version.
I was actually looking up the Japanese one. I could just read it.
Good job, Richie.
GG, Richie, GG.
I did good. Now give me a cookie. Anyways,
wow.
Anyways, basically what it says in Japanese is, and I'll quote: "Do not disturb the god of fire, the god of thunder, or the god of ice, lest the heavens and the earth become angry, and the world will head toward. I don't know why it doesn't say towards, but whatever. Head toward destruction. The god of the sea will appear to save the world from destruction. It will not be able to stop it. a great trainer will appear and be the only one capable of quelling the god's wrath.
Huh.
So instead of I guess in the English dub version, they made it sound like he's in the legend. The Japanese version just says a great trainer. And I guess it's implied it's Ash because he's already gotten the first 2 orbs by this point. By the time they even come to this conclusion, he only has the ice orb left to get, right?
But yeah, by the time they read the prophecy, Ash already has like 2 out of 3 of the treasures.
I'm curious if it's true what Lugia said about the orbs only glow if he was the one to do it. Because that was the whole thing, like, because even Ash was like, well, anybody can go get the orbs. Why does it have to be me? And it's like, well, the orbs only seem to like Lugia said something to the effect that the orbs glow when the chosen one is the one who does it.
Well, I think because Ash had already gotten 2 of the treasures already, so since they were already in his possession, I'm sure they would have reacted to being close to each other.
And while we're having this conversation, while being on that island, let's give out the awards to the most useless fucking thing in this film, Slow King.
Oh yeah.
What is the point?
I could use pants.
Promotion.
Yeah, no, Slow King.
It was that line. It was that line. I could use pants.
I don't even want to know what he says in Japanese. Fucking dumb. Or if this looks bad. I'm just like,
Watashi no pants.
Watashi no pants. So I feel like that's a meme in itself. Watashi no pants.
Watashi no pants.
Pantsu. We need pantsu.
I think it was just supposed to be exposition.
But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't even talk about it.
Promotion.
Yeah, they find all of this out, and Lugia can talk, so he's not necessary.
Yeah, he's literally the most. Ironically enough, Team Rocket is more valuable in this film.
Oh, Team Rocket went ham on this movie.
We do need to talk about that, but Richie, I'll give you time to say anything.
Promotion. That's all there is to it.
Gen 2. I think how many Gen 2 Pokemon are in this one? I think Meryl, obviously, because that's Tracy's. Ella Kid is in the little thing, and Ladyba's in it. Lugia's in it. Slow King's in it.
Oh yeah, because you got to include the Pikachu special, which we're not. I think I mentioned it before. We're not talking about as far as these reviews are concerned.
It's not important. Togepi gets lost, they find him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bonding moment for Ella Kid and Pikachu. And to be real with most people, the specials start getting really fucking boring like after the 3rd or 4th film. I forget which.
Yeah.
They're just not interesting anymore. But going into the next thing, since we did already bring it up, my God, I think I know it's too early in the film series to do this, but I would probably say this is Team Rocket's best movie appearance.
No, you're right. This is their best one.
Best one indeed.
Because I don't think they did. I will give the other films credit for starting to tie in Team Rocket more in general. Like movie 4 and movie 5 both have Team Rocket. Actually, no, I think movie 6 does too. Did movie 6 have a Team Rocket villain? Like, didn't
Jirachi's? I can't remember if Team Rocket showed up for Jirachi.
I don't think they showed up, but I think he was connected to Team Rocket, the guy.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but I feel like this was their best appearance. Like, they made the best impact in this movie.
The sad thing is it doesn't mean any fucking thing because these characters don't change or develop. That's besides the point. I still think they gave him a good final third of the film. They had a cool sacrificial moment. I was pretty happy with the overall product.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not a lot to say. It's weird. You know, one thing I'll give them credit for, they consistently showed Team Rocket throughout the film, so you always knew where they were at. So it wasn't weird when they came out of nowhere. Because even though they still did the thing where, like, during all the chaos, they get split up from, like, Ash and them. We already knew where they were in the vicinity. It's like, oh, where did they get the fucking lifeboat from? They already had the lifeboat because Team Rocket stole it when they were in Melody Ship. And then it flew off, and then they stole the fan from the broken helicopter on the same mountain above. It was crazy how close Ash's mom was to Ash during, like, that sequence. And they stole that, and they made that shit a motorboat. Like, I appreciate that kind of storytelling, because that shit doesn't happen all the time anymore. And sometimes they don't have the time for it. So it's a cool It's a cool thing that happens.
And they stay dropping really good lines. Like I to this day I still laugh at some of the lines that they had, like where they're hanging on Lugia because they all left Ice Island, and Jesse's like, we wait too much, we're slowing Lugia down. He's like, let's try Weight Watchers, and Jesse's like, it's too late for that. And me, I was like, it's never too late unless you stick with the program.
Oh, I've seen that crap.
Like they stay dropping some good lines in that one.
Side
that
note,
was so
the
good.
fucking
That was so
music
good.
during that sequence is fucking god tier, yo.
Oh yeah, it's called The World Shall Turn to Ash. It's a great song.
Good, GG. Good one.
I love the soundtrack in this movie. It's beast.
It's so good.
So I guess before we do our main trio, we're gonna deal with, I guess, the fact that they decided to include Oak, Delia, Ivy, and Brock as kind of background characters. Because remember, I think the Oak sequence with him and Delia, where the weather is changing insanely quickly. The motherfucker gets rained on. He loses his bike to a bunch of Diglett.
Oh yeah, that did happen.
There's a lot of weird shit that goes on in this film in the beginning. I do like that because it shows that the effects of nature changing at rapid pace fucks with the Pokemon. So that's why.
And
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I agree with you there, Terrell. I do respect how this movie's conflict does show that it has an immediate threat to everything, whereas the last movie's conflict was sort of personal. It happened in one setting.
I felt like it was more. It was like, well, Ash just happens to be in the area. That's what it kind of felt like.
This one is worldwide.
Although, ironically enough, technically Ash never knew about. Well, he doesn't know about the. It's weird because the heroes don't even know about the seriousness of the situation until until the Soul King stuff. Actually, I think is when they
I want to say until Ash actually looks out and sees all the Pokemon that are just there.
Which is a cool,
they just show up. They can't do anything. They just show up though.
It's a cool effect, and I like that they mentioned that the Pokemon are aware enough to where they're like, because they're like, what? Because I think even Ash asked when he's riding on Lugia, he's like, why are there so many Pokemon down there? They feel like they need to be here in case they might be needed. And they're like, and he's like, but what can they do? And it's like, and I think he mentions like it's not just one of them individually, but if they think they can contribute, they're gonna come. And then he goes, but the one that is the most important this day is you, Ash. I appreciate that kind of direction and that attention to detail. Because a lot of films don't fucking do that. And a lot of Pokemon films definitely don't fucking do that.
Definitely.
So I give a lot of credit. So, I don't think we have any thoughts on Ivy or Brock cameos. There's nothing nothing of value to say about it. It's just that, hey guys, there's a Brock cameo. There's hey look, there's Professor Ivy. Sounds like she has Down syndrome, by the way. Her English dub voice makes it sound like she's on Down syndrome.
The Pokemon are all in them.
Oh my god.
I know what she said. She goes, Pokemon are more in tune with nature than we are, so they can sense the balance disturbance. I'm like, shut up.
No one likes you in the anime, no one likes you here. Get the fuck out of here.
And then I think Professor Oak did a really good job explaining things, though.
Yep.
Yeah, he did so good. He did it so good. He was like the Tyrone of the English dub was the Tyrone because fucking did that shit so quickly. The Japanese was like, fuck, we got too much extra footage. I guess we gotta cut that out for the English dub version.
Right. It really shows Professor Oak is a professor, though, and I like when he does stuff like that because outside of that, what do we see him do in the series that really shows his status as a professor?
Right. So, with all the side characters out of the way, well, I guess technically no. There's one more we need to talk about.
There's one.
What?
Yes. Yeah, you know.
I'm gonna let Richie say it. Richie, do you know the one we need to talk about?
I'm so confused.
Okay, Tyrone, do you know the one we need to talk about?
Tracy.
No, that's not even it. You were both wrong.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
We need to talk about Lugia. Is what we need to talk
Oh,
about.
what? Lugia's not really a. Okay, I guess.
You know why we need to talk about Lugia?
Why?
This is bar none one of the most disappointing entrances of a legendary Pokemon in the fucking series.
You don't like tornadoes?
Really?
He gets knocked out twice.
He does get his ass whooped twice.
He gets his ass
Oh,
whooped
that's
twice in the span of like 30 minutes.
He's 1v3ing the legendary birds right now.
No, he's not doing shit. He wasn't doing shit. He didn't even knock out one of them, Tyrone.
He had to carry well, he didn't.
On the first go around, he was getting his ass
Oh,
whooped.
he sort of got bodied on that one.
He seems like an unnecessary legendary because even the legends like, yeah, Lugia can't do enough by himself. The fuck does he have you for then? You don't even when
failed.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be the prince of the sea, but the prince looks like a jester.
Oh, you fucking savage, Richie.
I am the one. Don't need to get respect about the streets.
Oh no, I am the one. All right, listen. That shit was so. You know what made it worse is even when they finally get all the balls there and Melody sings the song. Which, by the way, it was never said that I guess in Melody's legend it does say to play the song, but if they didn't have Melody, would it have still worked? Because I don't think it would have, and that's a problem in itself.
No.
But the point I'm making is that even when Melody sings the song, Lugia does nothing. He flies around, and the giant water tornado comes out of the water, and the birds just get quiet. The song quells the beast. Lugia literally does nothing in terms of note other than helping Ash. And it took him 2 tries to get that right, which Ash almost drowns anyway. So still, why are you here? It almost feels like, why are you here? Deadass.
Right.
I mean, yeah, and like I said, he's fighting all 3 of the birds at once, carrying Ash and the others, and he gets attacked by Lawrence III, all in that sequence. But it does kind of bring down his whole, like, legendary factor when you got the first movie with Mewtwo literally so strong he can wipe everybody out. And Lugia, like, his 2 appearances, he gets his butt kicked.
Exactly. And
Rest
that's
in
good.
peace.
I didn't realize until I rewatched the film. I was like, holy shit, this dude is so.
I mean, yeah, the only other bird to get whooped that badly is Articuno for some reason.
Because he's a bitch.
Oh yeah, Articuno gets knocked out on his own island.
Yeah, he does. It's so funny. Although I think Moltres is worse because that fucker gets caught first. Also, by the way, the noise Moltres makes when it's in pain is so awkward for me. It's like, it literally sounds like you're choking a chicken. No pun intended.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
But now we can address Tyrone. You said it before. Next, who's the next character?
Tracy.
All right. What? Why? This is
Tracy. I looked back to make sure I wasn't tripping. Tracy does jack shit in this movie.
Well, they cut out one of his scenes. Come on, Tyrone.
Nothing.
He does have some weird one-liners. That's like the best he does in this whole film. He's a bunch of fucking weird one-liners.
No, there's just that one, like... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Damn it. Hey man, this is why we get the we get paid the big bucks.
Actually, if you guys are not gonna say anything, I just like to add in one thing.
Go ahead.
And it's kind of minor, but the one thing I did enjoy about movie 2 was that, and no offense to movie 1, I still think it's a good film, but to me it felt like with movie 2 you didn't really have to deal with the whole and I'm sorry if I pronounce this wrong, but I like the fact that movie 2 didn't really have any prerequisites, if I said that correctly, right?
Oh, you mean like how you have to kind of watch the little the stuff in the beginning?
Yeah, the CD drama. I mean, don't get me wrong. The stuff was good for movie 1, as I said, and it still is. But I mean, I don't know. There was something. That's just what I like about movie 2. You didn't have to watch the prerequisites in order to enjoy a movie. You could just go on. You could just go on ahead and watch the movie, and then just be like, yay, you know. I mean, technically there was a movie short. A short movie for movie 2, but it wasn't that significant. It was just more like a 3 to 4 minute of whatever it was. I think it was about smoking, if I remember correctly.
No.
I don't even fucking remember.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that. Rich, you can go ahead and tell us about that briefly.
I I know that the short was about Slowking. Actually, hold on, because I'm actually on the website. So let me take a look. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't think America got it.
No, I know
Nah.
we didn't get it. Because I don't think we needed it.
Right.
it was called Slowking's Day. It was just
Oh.
basically.
Oh
it was
wait, I
just
do remember that.
Yeah, Slowking's Day. It was basically a Japanese thing. Never came to America, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh.
I really think it served no purpose other than, hey guys, do you want to do a video about Slowking?
What
No, well, too bad. We're fucking doing it anyway. That's what it feels like.
It was basically nothing. It was just basically him going out, meet like a few water type Pokemon. He goes back, and the end.
Oh god.
That's all there is to it.
Well, we're gonna listen.
Pants?
Shut up, Tyra. We've already spent too much time with fucking Slowking, more than the fucking film does, by the way.
All right. Anyways, but my point is that you didn't have. It was enjoyable to watch a movie where you didn't have to look at the prerequisite stuff in order to enjoy it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with watching the prerequisites, but sometimes you just kind of want to get to the point, you know? So I feel like movie 2 does a good job of it.
This was a very self-contained story, even though the world almost ended.
Right.
Yeah.
Tyrone, get your Tracy-isms out. Come on, let's do it.
He did jack shit. He didn't do a thing. Like, the only line of his I can actually remember was that line where Misty and Melody are having an argument about Ash's status as a boyfriend. And Misty goes, he's a boy and he's a friend, but he's not my boyfriend. And Tracy just shows up out of nowhere. You guys talking about me? Like
Oh, no.
I'm just like, Tracy, you could have just stayed on Shamoody Island and no one would have cared.
Yeah, he does literally nothing in this whole fucking.
I knew you were gonna bring that up. Jesus Christ,
Like,
so
it is
bad.
absolutely nothing.
He has a lot of weird fucking lines in this whole film. Like when they first get on the island and the villagers come dressed up in their outfits, and they're like, "At least we're out of trouble." And he turns around, and he's like, "I think we might be. We still might be." And then they get spooked by the villagers in their masks. I think and then he literally just does nothing this whole film.
No, I swear, I thought I was tripping. No, he does absolutely nothing.
I'm insane. Melody is a better character than Tracy is in this film.
Oh God, Melody was debatably a better character than Misty until she brought Ash back up to speed.
The problem with Melody is that Melody has no development. Melody is just more so a. Well, I guess to a degree, I see the direction.
She's Misty's character foil.
Yeah, like there's no. The only other thing she does is she has this thing in the beginning where she doesn't really respect the tradition, and then she respects it now because she's lived through the fucking calamity and shit. But they're so subtle about it. You kind of you got to glean that for yourself, which some people enjoy. Yeah, fuck Tracy. Oh my goodness, I feel bad what I'm about to say because. God damn it.
Do you?
Well, here, all right, this is what I'm going to say. Ash, this is probably one of Ash's better films, and I feel bad because if the next film blows this version of Ash out of the motherfucking water. It's like going from like childish Ash in this film to like mature as fuck Ash in the next film. We can't talk too much about the next film because that's for the next review.
Oh, I'm so excited.
But I fucking love.
Oh, yeah,
I do love.
fanboy.
I forgot how good they did it, where they made Ash apprehensive and he's scared because he starts off cocky as shit, and then as the reality of the situation kind of dawns on him, as the movie progresses, he gets more and more like paranoid and scared and shit. To the point when he's fucking finally said, "Oh, Ash, you're the chosen one." He even does that cool animation where he backs up and he's like, "Wait a second, guys. Being a Pokemon trainer is hard enough, but saving the world," like he's scared.
Right now, I wish my mom named me Bob.
Yeah, like he's nerved out, and I appreciate the moments where like his Pokemon come out of the Pokeball and kind of give him courage and shit. It's good. It's good fucking development. That's what you're supposed to fucking do.
Yeah, he almost cries.
I think he does cry.
No, he goes, "Well, what if I mess up? Well, what if?
I think he
What
cries.
if?" And then they stop him.
And
He's about to, like, he's damn near, like, close.
And then he turns his hat backwards and he fucking says, "Yeah, it's okay. I'm the chosen one." And then we get the Frozen one scene, which is always funny.
Right now, it's almost immediate. That's the joke of it all. It's like immediately after he flips his hat and he's ready to go, bam,
Right.
he's in that moment. And it's moments like that I appreciate, though, where they're able to carry emotions and they still hold their weight. I could still take Ash seriously in that scene, but still laugh at him falling in the snow in the next scene.
Because it's Ash.
Because it's Ash, right?
Because you know Ash, and you know how he is, and that's exactly how he does things. He might be confident, but he never does things gracefully.
And it also has a lot to do. I don't know if Japan has anything to contribute. Ash's voice actors in both America and Japan are good either way. Because at this point we have Veronica Taylor, and Veronica Taylor knows Ash inside and out.
Hashtag best girl. Hashtag
Right.
best girl.
So she
Right.
did Ash really well in this movie. Yeah, just, like I love the little one-liner she slips in with Ash, and yeah, it's a great job. Like the one where Team Rocket is like, "Prepare for trouble, make it double. I have to catch this on video." Like,
Oh yeah, because they're like, prepare for trouble. It's time for our scene, and make it double. We're on the big screen, and he's like, I'll have to catch this on video.
yeah, they gave him some good ones. They gave him some pretty good
And
lines in
listen,
this.
four kids has the problems, but god damn it, sometimes they just fucking nail it. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's 4Kids entertainment, not for just regular ass 4Kids.
I know, because there is a difference, folks, and you will find out as the series continues.
But yeah, so like I like the emotions that they carry with each of the characters here, and like you mentioned before, the movie, we don't get a lot of animated movies like that now, where they have they're able to have a story be very stimulative and happen while other things are taking place, like Team Rocket discovering the lifeboat and all of that, while at the same time an actual plot is taking place.
Yeah, I'm surprised how well this movie flows together. I think it has some stupid parts about it, but overall, I still enjoy the movie. So, before I guess we get to grades, is there anything else we need to discuss or address?
You got anything, Richie?
I'll save it till my grade, but nothing else.
Okay. Well then, damn it, Tyrone, you go first. Where we rating the movie at?
Ooh, this one. What was our numbering system? 1 out of 10.
Yeah, 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10.
Okay,
Yeah.
so from 1 to 10, I'd have to I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie an 8.
Why?
Good soundtrack, good story. My only gripe from stopping it from being perfect is the villain, Lawrence the Third. And
Yeah.
the reason that being is because I feel like if we had cut out Pikachu's little rescue Togepi thing, I feel like we could have done more with Lawrence, because Lawrence just there's a lot of characters in this movie that just sort of show up. Like the green-haired chick that carries Ash and the others to the boat. You brought up a good point. They've been traveling on Lapras all this point. Why is she here? She just shows up. Melanie technically just shows up. Lawrence the Third just shows up. Slow King just shows up. So,
We get the point.
yeah, there's a lot of characters that are just
And
here
another
for
one.
here for the sake of being here, but to the most part they use the characters effectively, except Slow King and Tracy. But they have a story. It's good to see that other characters from Ash's continuity are in play, like Delia. Like her purpose in the movie wasn't necessarily a big one per se, but I like the fact that she's just a bystander in this who's involved. Even the news reporter says, he's like, "And Miss, why are you here?" And she's like, "Well, my son's down there." The fuck? Like,
Why does Delia sound like this? Is my question.
Who knows?
Tyrone has a weird voice acting thought process for Delia.
I don't know, but which is weird because Veronica Taylor voices her too.
Yeah, I know. That's why I find it weird. Hashtag Veronica Taylor is best girl.
Well, why are you here, Miss? Because Ash didn't change his underwear.
Well, that would have been worse, honestly.
Oh god.
No, but seriously, I love that running joke. But seriously,
It's
Corny.
the fact that Delia Ketchum is there not as anyone to have anything to contribute to the situation. She's just a bystander that's worried about one of the characters being there, which helps open the world up a little bit more. Like, a lot of these characters and their purpose in the movie play a significant role directly and indirectly. And I feel like the movie, except for Tracy, obviously. And
Wow.
But because of that, though, I do feel like the movie ties itself in very well. Like I said, if they had a little bit more time to focus on Lawrence the Third, I think it would have gotten a much higher score, at least a 9. But I'm gonna give it an 8 because the soundtrack's good. To this day, I still think it looks beautiful, and it's got a nice story.
Okay, Richie, what do you give it?
Oof. All right.
Oof.
I'm gonna.
Oh, y'all terrible.
Go ahead, Richie. I'm sorry.
Jesus
I will
Christ.
take your grade and bump it 0.5.
8.5.
Why?
5.
Explain yourself.
Explain myself. All right, Your Honor, if you may.
Oh,
But anyways,
no.
no, I'm in court. But anyways, so basically, I enjoyed the movie for almost the same reasons. Great soundtrack. It was also kind of the first movie I technically watched in my early years, although I don't really remember. But I do remember, getting random merchandise for the movie, like backpack, poster, and all this other stuff. So I eventually watched it. It was a really good movie, and I just kind of like how T-Rock was actually useful because whenever I see T-Rock in other films, it's just like, oh, they're there, they're just there. But it's a great soundtrack. I like the way it kind of ended a little bit. But the one thing I never liked was how the fucking so-called Prince of the Sea looks like a fucking jester. Like, I don't understand. This is kind of.
How Lugia took the males.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the movie's supposed to revolve. Well, I mean, technically not, but maybe it is, depending on how you look at it. But isn't he supposed to be the main legendary Pokemon in the movie? Why is he getting his ass kicked? What is this? I mean, I know Mewtwo kind of got his shit pushed in a little bit by Mew, but he didn't take it that bad.
Well,
he only took like
he also was bossing the whole fucking film beforehand.
I mean, and Mewtwo only got pop shotted by Mew. The two really had like a
even bitch.
He didn't expect it. Like, if anything, no one expected it because he hit Mew, and then we thought Mew was just out, and then all of a sudden, bam! Shadow Ball came back and hit Mew too.
Hey, listen, that's not a confirmed to be Shadow Ball, Tyrone.
Is that a Mew used a mirror coat?
All right, move on.
But yeah, I mean, unexpected, expected, whatever. I don't know. I feel like Lugia, for what we were expecting out of a legendary Pokemon, was at least disappointing. And I'll say this: I think almost out of everyone, maybe with the exception of 2, but I just can't remember who those two were. But I think out of almost every legendary that was in the movie, I think he has like the worst treatment that there is. But I'm not gonna say he's the worst because I feel like there's like at least 1 or 2 others, but for some reason I don't remember them. But also the 3D stuff was kind of off a little bit, especially the flying airship. I felt like the outside looked like it didn't look as good as it looked inside, which I don't understand why, but I guess that's the way it's supposed to be.
Early CGI.
Yeah, but if I don't know, CGI back then, I get that it wasn't good, but there was some CGI back then that was actually decent, and maybe a little bit more.
Just not this film.
Not in this film, but yeah. Anyways, 8.5. I enjoyed the soundtrack. I enjoyed some of the great puns as usual out of the 4Kids production. Definitely did not like the way Lugia went about in this movie. I felt like it could have been executed a lot better. What else? But yeah, that's just pretty much it. Movie 2 was a great coexistence movie, and just the fact that it kind of teaches you that we're not all strong by ourselves, but if we work together, that cheesy shit that they always like to.
No, technically that's movie 21. Come on now.
Well, I mean, technically, it kind of is movie 2 in a way.
I think they're saying like one person actually could make the difference between like.
Actually, I'm just reading off what people would say about the Japanese dub, but
right.
But technically, the English dub would just come in and just be like, "Nah, fuck other people. I'm awesome," So
right.
America, fuck yeah.
That's just how I look at it. But anyways, 8.5. Good movie. And that's just pretty much it. 8.5.
All right then. So for my final thoughts, I think I'm going to lean towards an 8. To be fair, I don't have the same issues with the CG as you guys do because I barely fucking noticed that it was bad. There are certain sequences I can remember that are like that, but like for the most part, I didn't mind the CGI. I agree with Richie on the issues of Lugia's treatment. I'm actually one thing I don't think any of us really mentioned. The pacing for this film is way better. Fucking, it's actually it's very consistent, even though it's still fast paced. Like we're already at the first. I think we're at Fire Island like within the first 20 or so minutes. Like it's quicker than what you would think. I love the fucking ocean sequences of them swimming on them on the boats and shit. It's a beautiful fucking movie. It has a great soundtrack. I think my two things is primarily Lugia's treatment, Tracy. No, I'm just and the fucking the damn villain. The villain's just kind of like whatever. He serves his purpose, and that's all you can say about him.
He's got interesting potential. They just don't use any of it. It's like, like it's borderline touching Team Plasma shit, where it's like, why am what I'm doing any different than what a Pokemon trainer's doing?
Oh, no.
But they don't do anything with it. He's just like, you're bad, and you're bad for being bad, and we're good for stopping you because you're bad. Like, okay, fine.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You have a cool concept for him, but you don't do anything with it, and he's not really set up, and his ending is ambiguous as shit for no real reason. He's just not great. Which I guess
can I briefly touch on it? Misty makes the argument that she states that the way he talks, Pokemon are just things to collect, like dolls or stamps, right? Well, like the problem with that is that no matter how many ways you split it, Pokemon follows the same logic. The only difference, I guess you would have to say, is that Lawrence is just keeping the Pokemon for the sake of keeping them. They will do nothing outside of stay inside their cages. Whereas Ash and the others, they battle with them, they love them, they pet them, they feed them. So, but they never go deep into any of that. Misty just goes, collecting Pokemon's wrong, and he's like, yeah, whatever. And then walks away. He just walks away.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's a good summary of what I'm feeling personally towards it. And considering that's like the worst act, the thing is, as a villain, he still does his job. He does his fucking job of fucking shit up and causing problems. He just doesn't do anything past that, and that's just a problem for me. And I don't like the way they treat Lugia. So I don't want to keep repeating myself as far as that's concerned. So 8 is where I stand, and I think we have covered everything, correct? We have our ratings, everything. We're good to go.
So overall, an 8 all around the board.
Except for Richie, because Richie wants to be a fucking maverick.
Well, no, he gave him a little bit more credit
That's
than us.
what I'm saying. It can't be, that's what I'm saying. He's fucking maverick. He couldn't dedicate to a whole number. I think a 0.5 rounds to a 9. Goddamn, it's besides the point. All right.
But he just couldn't give it a 9.
It's fine.
I can't comprehend math.
He can't.
He didn't deserve.
This is how Richie does his relationships. He can't ever really commit. It's always a 0.5.
Damn.
It's always a 0.5 somewhere. God damn it.
So we got anything else, Terrell?
Oh no.
No, not really. I guess the next thing we can look forward to is either A, this video getting copyright claim because fuck you, show pro, or if it stays up, then you have to look forward to movie 3's review, which I said we were gonna gush about movie 2.
I can't wait.
I said we were gonna gush about movie 2, movie 3. I think movie 3, and just to give you a slight spoil, I think movie 3 is one of those films that we first watched and said, oh, it's alright. And literally is one of the few movies that is aged better.
Aged like wine.
It's fucking... We're not going to get too much into it, but I think it's one of the few fucking movies. Because even though I like movie 2 to me still has some minor things I don't like about it. But... movie 3, because actually this is like the first time because movie 2, this is like the first time I've rewatched it since at least 5 to 10 years ago. And based
on my quotes, you can tell I watched it a lot.
I didn't watch it as much as I thought I did, and I was like, I wonder why. And I was like, I don't really know why, because it's entertaining, but I don't watch it that much. Don't know why.
I just don't have the time for it.
It's not that long of a film, Richie. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm just spitting facts.
We're just watching the movie. By
We're
itself.
fucking
It's
adults,
nothing long.
everybody. Can't you tell? That's why we're reviewing a children's anime. It's fucking terrible. Anyways, but yeah, movie 3. We'll get into it when we get into it. But for now,
Next time.
leave your thoughts and comments on the second film. This video actually might be, I'm not sure, close or near the length of the second film, so you can actually watch this while watching the film. So it's almost like watching the commentary. I don't know. Depends if you're entertained or not. Anywho, thank you, Richie, for being here.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you, Taro, for being here and giving us a quick summary of the film.
Of course.
And we will see you guys next time with movie 3. What is it? The Power of the Unknown?
No,
the
spell of
spell.
unknown.
Yeah, the
the
spell
spell
of
of
the
unknown.
The
The
spell
spell
of
of
the
unknown. I can't wait.
I always call it movie 3. That's why I forget about the subtitle completely. This is
Right.
weird. This is gonna be a weird. This is gonna be an interesting review. I don't know how long.
It's a work of art.
All right, listen. You were spoiling too much of this review. Chill out.
I'm
all right?
sorry.
Chill out. God damn it. Chill out. Anywho, this has been the Insane Game Freak Schizomatic. So I'll say my patented phrase: "Life's a game, play to win." Oh, and you can't have any fun if you're not going a little bit crazy. Ha ha ha. I'll catch you guys later. Peace. Oh. Okay. GG.